Danny Barnes in Foreman's Beach, number 2. Fall's here. The weather's really refreshing after the summer heat, and not only for us people, but for the fish as well. They really like the water cooling off and stuff, and what that does is it causes the bait fish, your brim, your perch, your shad, those type of stuff that your bass feed on, it causes them to school up. And what also that does, it causes your bass, they get really active, chasing these schools and stuff, to feed up for the winter time. They're trying to put on weight, trying to get big because it gets really cold and stuff, so that's what they're doing. And as Bass Pro, Hank Parker said in an article he wrote for Berkeley Fishing, fishing is always better than hunting in November. And that has a lot to do with the fact that there's not a lot of people out there on the water and stuff, and also the fact that, and Parker also prefers November because basically any type of lure this time of year will work, because of the bass feeding up for the winter time, but specifically some lures will work better than others. Professional bass fisherman Edwin Evers said in an article written by John Nipadori Jr. for Bassmaster.com that a shallow running square bill crankbait is his favorite lure for this time of year. And also Brent Ayler, who's also a professional fisherman, he tells us in an article for FLW Magazine written on November the 8th, 2012 by David Brown, that shallow running crankbaits, they work well because not only do they look like the forage for the bass, but the bass are also transitioning from deep cool water where it was in the summer, where the cool water was in the summertime, to the shallow water where the water's cooling off now, and because of the weather. And as Heather pointed out, fall is the best time of year for bass fishing because the bass are active and hungry. And this makes it really easy to catch large numbers of bass, and it makes for a really fun day. And Parker also stated that there's usually very little pressure on public fisheries this time of year because, heck, let's face it, you're sitting at home watching a ball game, you're sitting in your recliner watching a ball game, or you're traveling out of town to go to a football game, or heck, you're climbing a deer stand. That's why not many people are on the water. And then, also, the weather's really pleasant. It's nice to be outside. It's not nearly as windy or rainy as it is in the springtime, and not nearly as hot as it is in the summer. And not only do people like it, but the fish do as well. Your equipment that you use to catch bass this time of year is not really as important as the type of lure you use. Really, this type of year, you would want to use a bait casting reel spooled with 12-pound monofilament line on a medium heavy action rod. That offers really good no options, for your different types of lures. And this particular setup would allow you to fish several different types of lures, and it wouldn't also impede on the action of any of the lures as well. Evers suggested other lures such as spinner baits and hollow body top water walkers, but the square bill crankbait seems to be the lure of choice for professional anglers. Richard Sims, a contributor for ResourceFastFishing.com, says stickler colors such as chrome, white, and then if the water's muddy, you can go to a chartreuse, orange, or a black so the fish can see it a lot better because it's hard to see in muddy water. And then again, if you're planning you're going to be planning a fall fishing trip, it's going to be a lot better to fish in the morning just because the winds stay up, and it's harder to cast when it's windy, especially if you're just recreational bass fishing. You want to catch the most, a large number of fish, and so that just help you out a little bit there. But like J.T. Kinney, another professional bass fisherman from down in Florida, he stated in an FLW Magazine article that the day after an unseasonably cold night, you probably need to wait till after lunchtime for the bite to pick up because the water's done cooled down, the bass's metabolism's slowed down, so they're not actively feeding yet till the water warms up and their blood warms up, and then they get to chasing the bait fish. Sim states that the presentation of the lure in relation to speed to the bass should be dictated primarily by water temperature. But we usually this time of year, you're typically going to use a faster presentation because the water's still decently warm. It hadn't cooled off that much, but it's not near as hot as it was. So the fish their metabolism is going to be high, the bait fish are going to be moving, and the bait fish are going to be moving fast. So therefore your bass are going to move fast. So a fast presentation, not only will the fish think it's bait, but it's hard for them to make out that the lure is not real if it's moving swiftly as opposed to slowly. And in conclusion to all this, the fall weather, it just presents a perfect time to go fishing. I mean, if you don't want to miss your football game, go out, take a radio with you, listen to your ball game while you're out there fishing. Makes for a great time because you're going to catch a large number of bass because this is the best time of year to be fishing. And if you're going to fish in the fall, try to remember that they're feeding on bait fish, so really your lure is going to be the most important thing. Make sure it looks like whatever the bass are feeding on in that pond, whether it's brim, perch, shad, minnows, anything like that. And a square bait, obviously from all the what we've read here or looked at, your professional anglers, they seem to really favor a square bill crankbait because it works in shallow water. It resembles where the fish are. It resembles the bait fish that the fish are feeding on. And of course, you can throw spinner baits, swim baits, top water walkers. Any of those are excellent choices as well. But just remember that the bass are feeding on bait fish this time of year very actively. So throw a lure that will resemble the bait fish that the fish are feeding on.